Hi guys, video here for today. Gonna try this new thing that I might do every week. And that is Dave Ramsey in the news. So let's Google. I should get light on my keyboard. Dave Ramsey, there we go. So we Google Dave Ramsey and you can see pictures of him and stuff. 63 years old, spouse Sharon Ramsey. But if we go to news, there's different news stories on here. And I did look at these. This is why these links are purple, because I have looked at them already, just skimmed over them. But mostly I won't be looking at them ahead of time, and I'll just react to them. And so let's see. This from Yahoo Finance. Dave Ramsey reveals people aren't as well off as you think. 8 out of 10 people probably can't afford the home that they're living in and the car they're driving. Again, Yahoo Finance. Let's stop that. There we go. We got Mr. Ramsey sitting at his show desk. Dave Ramsey, widely recognized financial advisor, recently reiterated his straightforward financial advice through a TikTok video posted on March 5th. And so that's probably, I think everything that goes on TikTok, I believe, is just show clips. I think. I know on Instagram and stuff, especially with Rachel, they sometimes do some stuff just for Instagram together. That's just for that. But I think most of the stuff they post on TikTok is, if not all of it, is just video from the Ramsey show. Known for relatable guidance, Ramsey's latest message is simple yet profound. The big myth about money is that everybody thinks everybody else has got it together, and the truth is almost does. The declaration underpins Ramsey's long-held belief that despite appearances, financial security is a challenge for the majority. Indeed. In the video's caption, Ramsey provides startling statistics. 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Basically, that means almost 8 out of 10 people probably can't afford the home they're living in, right? Or much else, living paycheck to paycheck, and the car they're driving. And they're certainly not able to invest or otherwise save and so forth, and so they're not able to flourish. They're just paying for their expenses and their debt payments. They might not even have the cash to cover the next emergency that pops up. Your income is your most important wealth building tool. Mr. Ramsey has said that for years, says a lot. And when your money is tied up in monthly payments, you're working hard to make everyone else rich. Exactly. Ramsey's advice is not new. He has consistently addressed financial challenges people face, right? The advice has been the same for 30 years. And it's not, he's never taken credit for it. He always said it's God's and grandma's ways of doing things, handling finances. Let's see. The recurring piece of advice regarding cost of cars relative to income, advising that a car shouldn't cost more than half your income. And that's actually the total of things you have with motors in them and wheels. Shouldn't be more than half the household annual income. And of course, you don't buy new unless you are a millionaire, because only millionaires can handle the kind of depreciation that happens on new cars. Let's see, aiming to get your finances on track, consulting a financial advisor might be a good step. Everyone's financial goals are unique, and a financial advisor can help you with advice that's tailored specifically to your needs. Let's see, living costs rise and economic disparities widen. The feasibility of adhering to Ramsey's principles could be questioned. And not really. You have to, by definition, you have to live on less than you make. Especially if you're going to take his advice and not do debt, which puts you in a much better position. However, the essence of his message encouraging financial literacy and responsibility remains relevant and vital. All of it is. All of it works, still works after all these years. Okay. Originally appeared on Benzinga, excuse me, and .com. Alrighty, and so Yahoo Finance appropriated it, and I just appropriated it from them. But yeah, basically, it's like, especially, and it's the whole thing of people doing something like to make themselves look better off than they are on Instagram when that's not the case, and I would imagine that's the case most of the time. All right, so Dave Ramsey invoked Star Wars on mortgage payment advice, and I did not see this particular episode, but that's worlds colliding there. Oh, turn off my ad blocker. All righty, let's do that. Let's just turn it off for this page only. Dave Ramsey invoked Star Wars on mortgage payment advice. Let's see. Quote from Star Wars movie offering personal finance. Getting the money together to pay for rent or mortgage every month can be a challenge for many people. Affording the roof over your head involves juggling other finances to free up the cash flow for... Let's get rid of the ad right there. For that one big payment every 4 weeks. And it's this budgeting exercise that the personal finance personality addressed with someone who recently asked for help. Dear Dave, wrote an advice seeker named Lindley, according to email sent to the street from Ramsey Solutions. They sent the actual email? Or they just sent it to the show and he answered on the show. I'm trying to work my way out of debt, but it seems like something always happens to stall things or knock me backwards. I make $55,000 a year, single, have $15,000 in debt, along with a mortgage payment of $12.24 a month. I've been trying to live on a budget, but I'm still not sure where all my money goes. Lindley continued, can you help? Best-selling author expressed some understanding of the difficulties being explained and then talked about dealing with finances in a practical way. I know living on a budget can be hard at first, and honestly, it usually takes folks who are new to doing it about 3 or 4 months of practice before they start getting it right and seeing the results. Absolutely. You can, especially if you're not used to the amount of your expenses, and a lot of people have no idea. They just stop spending money when the money runs out. Instead of being intentional with it ahead of time, so they may not even know how much they spend on groceries a month. Ramsey offered advice on how large he recommends a mortgage payment should be relative to one's income. For starters, your house payment is a little heavy for someone making $55K a year. Generally recommend keeping your mortgage or rent payment at about 25% of your take-home pay. And that is going to be on a 15-year fix, not a 30. A lot of people do the 30 so they can buy more house than they can afford. Sometimes you can slide by paying a little bit more, but in those cases, you'd really have to be on top of your finances, right? And so the way to do that, if you don't make that much money in a high cost of living area, you have to put more down payment down. So it's a lot less of a mortgage. So the biggest thing you can do right now is take control of your money instead of letting it or lack of it control you. And the best way to make all this happen is to be consistently living on a realistic written monthly budget. Let's see, where did he quotes from Empire Strikes Back? Let's see. Once you start doing this, you've taken your first big step toward having a real game plan for your money. At that point, the idea of trying to live on a budget ends, and the fact that you're living on a budget and telling your money what to do instead of a lack of it dictating what you can do becomes more of a reality than Ramsey referenced a movie from the Star Wars franchise. Remember the Star Wars movie Empire Strikes Back? And I did not see this one. I wish I had. At one point during Luke's training, Yoda tells him, do or do not. Do or do not. There is no try. In a larger sense, Yoda is urging Luke to focus and work harder instead of continuing with half-hearted attempts and giving up easily. If you want to accomplish a difficult task, Lindley, you have to throw yourself into it completely. You must fully commit and stop making excuses. You have to focus, fight to make it happen. Ramsey ended his words with some comments with some words of encouragement. It's no fun waking up broke at the end of every pay period. We both know this. Excuse me. He wrote, so put your head down and get your mind in gear. Make this happen. You can do it. All right, yeah, the do or do not. There is no try. Excellent. Ramsey and Star Wars, worlds colliding in my chair. There we go. All right, so those basically from the first one from a clip from his show that was on TikTok, and the second one was maybe just answering that one for business, or the street rather. Maybe just answering that one for the street. But this one, Business Insider, ignoring Dave Ramsey advice, helped me buy a home. My home, let's see. Raised on Dave Ramsey's financial advice, but ignoring it is the only reason I was able to buy my home. Let's see what's up. Husband and I both raised on Ramsey's no debt money advice. When we went to buy our first home, we were stuck. We didn't have credit scores. You don't need them. You can do manual underwriting. We took out a secured credit card to build our score, and we were able to buy a home in 2021. That's bullcrap. You can do manual underwriting. Let's see. I mean, and this person actually wrote this. Unreal. Manual underwriting. You can do that. You can buy a house without having a credit score. Several people have done it, not even counting the Ramsey personalities. I mean, obviously, Dave probably paid cash. He definitely paid cash for all of his houses and his vacation house and so forth. But George, probably the most recent, I think, person to actually. I think Jade still has a mortgage that's not paid off yet, but George paid off his recently, like maybe even a year ago now. Let's see. Grew up listening to Dave Ramsey's radio show. My parents' car, frequently citing his own faith and hitting the right notes of personal responsibility. Ramsey has major appeal in conservative Christian circles. Actually, anybody with common sense. Let's see. On the surface, advice stay out of debt seems reasonable, and that debt can have a chokehold on your finances in the future. The average American adult has over $50,000 in debt. Crazy. Including mortgages, student, auto, and personal loans. Ramsey rails in particular against credit card debt, right? Although that makes up around $3,000 with that $50,000 debt the average American owes. Let's see. Neither my husband and I were prepared when we wanted to buy a home. Okay, what does that mean? Husband and I also grew up with parents who listened. Okay, they said that before. Waiting for a thing. While that has been largely a good thing, she's talking about being not in debt. Unfortunately, it meant that we also didn't have credit scores, something Ramsey calls an I love debt score. That's exactly what it is. Speaking with loan officers of various mortgage lenders, I learned that having a credit score was actually pretty important to buying a house. It's not necessary. It makes it easier for them because they can just type something into a computer and it will tell them. So it makes it easier for them, but they can do manual underwriting. It's very difficult without one. With a it's not very difficult either. It's just not as easy as just going by the credit score. With a non-existing credit score, I couldn't even get approved for a normal credit card. Okay? You wouldn't want to. You wouldn't need to do that. There's no need. You don't need a credit score. You don't need it. To build credit from nothing, we got to secure it. Okay, that's this person's choice. You did not have to do that. And if it, I mean, this is just bad journalism if it doesn't mention manual underwriting there. Because this was also edited by somebody as well in addition. Let's see. At the beginning of 2021, we were ready to buy. The average cost of a home in the U.S. was over $300,000. It'd take us 5 years of strenuous budgeting to save up $60,000, most of which we would use a down payment. Okay, that's fine. Many more years to save up to buy a modest house in cash if the market stayed the same, right? And it hadn't. Definitely went up. However, the market would undoubtedly outpace us, right? A year later, the average cost of a home was $365,000. Yep, that happens. And that means you got to not buy longer. You got to save for a down payment longer. You don't get a break from the math. You have to do the math. The math doesn't add up in a way that would make buying a house in cash possible for us now or in the future. Right? And David realizes that he will not yell at you if you buy a house that is for you to live in if you get a mortgage on that. But that it is in his guidelines, which is the mortgage payment should be no more than about 25% of your take-home pay. And on a 15-year fixed. And if you have to get a 30 in order to afford it, you can afford it. Let's see, does not completely condemn mortgages. There you go. So they did mention that, but I'm still waiting to see manual underwriting on here. The advice doesn't fit working class people, this person said. A working class person, like many of us listen, much of his advice feels out of touch. This is out of touch again. I did 2 out of touch reactions last week, and that's why I'm doing this now. People seem to like them. Out of touch again, stigmatizes legitimate paths forward, such as having a credit score built on years of responsible credit use. Yeah, because there's too much risk involved with that. I know from my upbringing that his views create a culture of finger pointing and judgment about. That's just what you're bringing to it. Just because you don't like his advice, because it kept you from getting a home. Wah. It didn't. You just need to go away from the few brokers that you talk to, mortgage brokers. Who did it say they talked to about it? I think mortgage brokers. Mortgage lenders. Yeah, you need to talk to some more. And you know what? Here's an idea. I know one that has definitely heard of manual underwriting. That would be Churchill Mortgage, that if you listen to him a lot, you should know that he recommends, and they would be familiar with manual underwriting. And if you listen to him a lot, you would be also Sarah Martinez Shaw. You would also be familiar with manual underwriting already, and that is nowhere in this article. Nowhere. Edited by Stephanie Hallett. Again, Business Insider. Doesn't say the date. March 8th, 2024. Hot off the presses today. $15 hours ago. There we go. All right. Let's do one more. Yahoo Finance again. Dumb, really dumb. Dave Ramsey launches into an epic rant on 3 of the most common money mistakes people make. All right. Let's see what those are, because we know that it does. Yahoo Finance. 32 years of giving people financial advice on the airwaves. Dumb, really dumb. These things baffle me, and that's why I'm hitting them, because they're just illogical, Captain. He didn't say Captain. Let's see. Co-buying property. Dumb. You know why? Because the bill always comes to the person that's left. If the other person bounces, it's all on you. So you don't buy property with anybody except your spouse. That's the only way. You don't even buy it with other family. Let's see, upgrading cars. A totaled car is not a reason to upgrade. Now, you're driving a $6,000 car, your car gets totaled, you get a check for $6,000, and suddenly $6,000 cars aren't good enough for you. That's dumb, exactly. And again, the depreciation on cars, you keep driving a $6,000 car or less if you can get a running car that has been, have your mechanic check it out, definitely. It's well worth every cent that the mechanic would charge, but there's some places that look at used cars for free that you want to buy in hopes of getting the work to repair some of those if they find anything wrong with it. Overspending on education, absolutely. Don't spend $250,000 getting a master's degree in sociology so you can be a caseworker for the state making $38,000. Absolutely. Don't do that. And you know how you can do that is if you have $250,000 in cash or you can cash flow that over time to get that to happen, and you want to do good for the people, good works for the people, and then you can pay for that and then live on that, then go ahead. You can do that. But don't take out $250,000 of student loans and then make $38,000 a year. That is the dumbest thing probably. Was that all three of them? Did I go through all three of them quickly? Overspending, cars, and the co-buying property. Yes, all of those are dumb as crap. Alrighty, let's just look at the headlines for a couple other ones, and then we'll call it a video. Did Ramsey invest $100 a month to become a millionaire in retirement? Right, I did do this ahead of time. And you see 22 to 67. Actually, this was brought up on the Ramsey show today. I saw people talking about it in the chat, but I was at work, and so I didn't have time. I couldn't listen to that part of it. So I put it right in the calculator. Age 22 to 67, doing just $100 a month. Annual return. I don't care. Google it. It's on many, many, many sites. 10% is the average annual return. Now, you don't have to apply inflation to that, and you don't, because that happens anyway. That happens even to whatever investment plan you have. Hopefully, you are including inflation in that as well. Every time you go to the grocery store, you're including inflation in that as well. So that's 10% average per year. Last year the S&P made 20, so that gives us some time to be down, which it is going to be down sometimes. Nobody's not saying it's not going to be down. It's not going to be up all the time. It is going to be down sometimes. Yes, we know this. But let's see. So end result, 22 to 67, just $100 a month. So that's $1,200 a year. And that equals, by the time you're from 22 to 67, then you have $1,048,000 and $246. $1,048,246,000. No, $1,048,246. That's how you say that one. All right. So yes, so that is actually a thing. And of course, you would not be putting just 100. You would be doing 15% at least. As long as you have a mortgage, it should be no more than 15% while you pay off the house, because that is much helpful in retirement as well, having a paid off house. And so you would be doing 15% of your gross household income into retirement. So hopefully that would be much more than $100. So you would hit $1 million much faster. But this is just for that particular example that he gave one time, and somebody brought it up again. So, and this was just a day ago. So he may himself have brought it up in something. I don't know what they're referencing here, because we're not going to look at the whole thing. Just want to show you on the calculator that yes, it's correct. Cheap vacation ideas. Yeah, I mean, you're not doing vacation on baby step 2 or 3, but baby step 4, you can start to have, maybe short vacations and stuff like that. And then at that point, you're thinking, well, do I want to take this vacation, or would I rather have my house paid off quicker? And then you get to decide, and it's your money. You get to budget whatever you want to. I mean, by that time, if you have the full emergency fund and you're already investing, then any extra money, you can decide where it goes. But the idea is to pay the house off early still. Let's see, you need to know this guy fast before he and the 24-year-old and in Mexico or somewhere. Down from Indianapolis shared a contentious inheritance scenario that unfolded. Okay, I think this is her brother or something like that was trying to take her inheritance, I believe. Pretty scary situation. Indiana woman has accumulated $77,000 in bad debt and earns only $50,000, and that's bad. I mean, the advice is gonna always be the same. It's baby steps, always. And this, I'd rather be caffeinated than depressed with $6 young Americans are rejecting Dave Ramsey's face of financial advice, and that's basically. I think that might be one of the actual articles, or maybe just one related to it, but they did reference. Jeez, can't talk. I need to get more sleep before I do these, I guess. I'd rather be caffeinated than depressed. Maybe I need to be caffeinated than depressed with $6. And so this was just another article trying to basically say it's the younger generation that is not rejecting Dave's advice. No, boomers do it too, and boomers like caffeine too. So it's not a generational thing at all, which was the point of my other two videos that I did. Those are in my reaction playlist as well, so you can check that out. All right, so I'll see how this one does, and I'll try to do one of these a week or so, and to see what the people are thinking about. All right, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You can email me if you have any questions, or if you'd like to schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me. You can do that, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donation, go to paypal.me, also CashApp, $CoachSteveMoney, or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back.